Hai guys, saya Jai Android King, professional drifter, racer dan sim racer. Kalau korang mencari racing simulator, datanglah ke Android King. Kita ada Trustmaster T300 steering, Logitech G29, Simagic wheelbase, Super Street Racing Rig, triple monitor setup dan macam-macam lagi produk. Saya ingin menjemput anda datang ke Android King, nanti saya bagi harga baiknya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to the XOX Unity League, sponsored by XOX and 1XOX, along with our racing partners TKKR, our event partner Magpie, and our supporters Android King and Precision Sim Racing. And don't forget, last but not least, our fantastic media partners at Gallery Creator. I'm your host for this evening, Max Bob. The studio is Encik Bob bertemu.
Hai. Saya Encik Bob. Okay Max, setelah season 1, season 2, sebab kita tak boleh nak bersiaran di ialah macam biasa, tapi alhamdulillah hari ni buat pertama kalinya kita bersiaran daripada studio
daripada studio yang sama. Itu yang kita pakai mask ni sekarang.
Termasuk SOP
SOP jaga. Yes. Kita kena jaga, watch your health. Walaupun kita dah ada vaksin, we have to watch our health, keep our distance and keep ourselves safe until we win the fight.
Semalam awak dengan siapa semalam?
So, saya semalam sebenarnya dengan Maicil Hafiz.
Maicil.
Memang something else. Absolutely fantastic working with him. Very hyper. Memang hyper sangat.
Ya. Okay, hari ni saya akan bersama dengan Max, InsyaAllah sama daripada sekarang sampai pukul 9 lebih lah. So, kepada tuan-tuan dan perempuan yang mana baru menyaksikan live stream ini, jangan lupa like, share
dan subscribe.
Ya, itu dia.
So, itu dia XOX Unity League. 6 round, so 6 round championship with 2 races in each round, so a grand total of 12 races, including a very special race right at the end for the AM and Pro drivers. Last night was the Pro race, but tonight is going to be the amateur race. Same format, 40 minutes with 1 mandatory pit stop, and of course we're going to have a fantastic championship, a lot varied sort of class structure this time around. There's a lot more BMWs and McLarens out there for all of you BMW and McLaren fanboys. It's going to be fantastic to see them fight it out as well. So really, really good stuff. Right now we have the amateur races. Concurrently, we're also running the rookie races as well. 20 minutes for those guys. No need for a pit stop. We'll try and see if we can get the rookie results in this broadcast. They will only, I believe, have 1 broadcast at the end of the season. But for now, we'll be looking primarily at the amateur races.
Okay, tuan-tuan dan perempuan, jangan lepaskan peluang bersama kami. Kita ada berapa minggu agak-agak?
6 minggu. Ini minggu pertama sampai minggu ke-6 nanti.
Ya, so kita akan bersiaran bersama dengan anda setiap hari Jumaat dan juga hari Sabtu. Ya. Okay, apa pun kita ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada penaja-penaja kita, iaitu XOX, 1SOX Mobile, racing partner kita TKKR Racing, event partner kita Magpie dan juga
supporters kami Android King dan Precision Sim Racing dan media partner Gallery Creator. So Gallery Creator ni pun ada something special juga untuk minggu-minggu ni. Sama masa dengan dan sama waktu dengan XOX Unity League.
So season yang pertama kita bermula bulan 12 tahun lepas kalau tak salah.
Daripada tahun lepas kita buat kualifikasi kelak kan, zaman dulu-dulu tu, sekarang kita dah masuk dalam racing. So ni betul-betul 2021 punya season daripada qualifying sampai ke habis.
Ya, hari ni kami kembali lagi yang mana kita ada season 2. Yang mana kali ni kalau last time kita ada e-sport e-challenge tak salah aku, kali ni kita bersama dengan XOX Unity League iRacing. Masih lagi dengan penaja yang sama dan juga ada tambahan sikit supporters yang lain.
So terima kasih kepada semua penaja dan supporters. So special thank you goes right out to all of our sponsors and our supporters. Also a special thanks to all the drivers who made it for the championship. We had quite a few entries as well. It was a tough job for all the drivers to try and qualify into the league, but we have 2 grids of 24. This is the second grid of 24 cars for this evening. Absolutely spectacular stuff up ahead. And thank you guys, the fans. Without you, we won't be able to do any of this. But we do have a special gift for the fans out there. So we gave away already one LED shift light from Android King for this week's Pro winner. And for tonight, right here, right now, you have a chance to win a simulator mat. So do stay tuned for that. Around halfway point of the race, I'll ask a question, and by the end, we will close the questioning period right there. So do stay tuned for your chance to win a simulator mat.
Ya, itu dah. Aku tertarik kita bacakan sikit komen daripada viewers kita. Ya, Encik Pak kembali. Ya, kembali.
Yay.
All the best TKKRE Racing team. Dan juga good luck to all amateur drivers. And good luck and have fun, guys. Special gift. Sign me up.
All you have to do is to like Vertex Esports and Adrenaline Impact and share the stream with your friends. And once you do that, you'll be entered in. Just answer the question when we ask it in the halfway point. Once people start to come in for their pit stops, I'll ask the question and we'll have the answer at the end of the broadcast. Hopefully we'll be able to catch them in time. And congratulations to Sharil Norafuddin. Sharil Norafuddin takes home an LED shift light by Android King. It's programmable, so you can use SimLabs to sort of change the functions on it. SimHub, sorry. I do apologize. With SimHub to try and adjust all of the functions. You can have it glow yellow for yellow flags, red for red flags, or you can just have it as a shift light. Absolutely fantastic piece of equipment.
Tahniah Abang Syaril, tahniah. Menang besar.
Terima
kasih penaja kita, Android King. Jangan lepas.
So a fantastic product out there. If you yourself want to take home a LED shift light, you can try next weekend. But you can also head on down to Android King. Very reasonable prices, very good quality products right there as well. So thank you very much, Android King.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there can get a hold of Sharil Norafuddin, or if Sharil Norafuddin is also watching this stream tonight, just make sure to let us know via DMs so that we can get the
dia tengah race kot. Tapi nanti dia mesti akan tengok balik siaran ni.
So just please do DM us and we'll be able to send that to you as well. Nanti kita boleh hantar lah.
Ya.
Cuba nak minta dia punya address je lah.
Max, malam ni kita berlumba kat mana, Max, sebenarnya?
Okey, sama seperti semalam, kita akan berlumba di Zandvoort. Zandvoort.
Dia punya pronounce dia Zandvoort.
Zandvoort.
Okey, negara?
Itu dia. So, but like I said earlier on in the program, we also have a very special tie-in with Gallery Creator Junior Virtual Racing. We get to talk to 6 of the leading lights in sim racing, from real-life racing drivers to sim racing experts, and also to members of the sim racing industry and the community at large. We have Ilham Hlabi, Paduka Shuib, Dominic Ang, Tuku Jan, Michael Hafiz and Azman from Sim R Garage. Memang
6 episod dokumentari ini menceritakan tentang perlombaan di dalam dunia digital. Anda wajib menonton setiap minggu sepanjang musim perlombaan XOX Unity League Season 2 bermula 9 April, iaitu semalam. Terima kasih kepada Gallery Creator
terima kasih kepada semua staff Gallery Creator. Dapat we can really shine a light on the sim racing scene here in Malaysia and really let us sort of understand the drivers and all of the actors in the sim racing
Kalau kita
community.
tengok 6 hero kita ni berbeza, dia punya background dia sangat-sangat berbeza. Betul kan?
Ya, betul.
Okey, macam Tengku Jan, kita sedia maklum, Malaysian tahu,
Ya.
dia seorang pro driver, drifter dan sebagainya. Majid seorang pelumba.
Ya.
Ilham Halabi,
Dia hanya di dalam dunia sim sahaja.
nampak
Daripada kalau tak silap 2008 ke apa.
ya, tapi disatukan di dalam satu perlombaan sim ini.
Ya. Tapi itu yang best dalam kategori kami di XOX. Pelumba daripada dunia sebenar boleh berlawan dengan sim racers.
Betul.
So real racers versus sim racers. It's going to be a long running theme in the XOX Unity League, and we hope to see who's going to come out on top this season around. We already have a fantastic opening salvo there from Muhammad Ibrahim, but who knows? We might see a few sim racing guys return the fire this evening.
Ni. We want Liberace. Apa benda Liberace tu?
Nanti kita akan jumpa kereta tu dekat track.
Okay,
Team Liberace, one of the many teams we have out there. We have the TKKR boys, we have the Sim R Garage people, Hyperbulls is back, and so much more. There's a lot of action, a lot of teams. It's going to be a fantastic, very colourful grid out there as well. And of course the running team of who is going to get the better mark throughout the course of the season, because of course unlike in the previous season, we have 3 different cars and they're not allowed to change cars between races, so they're stuck with whatever cars they start today's race with for the 6 weeks. So now jom kita pergi ke Zandvoort.
Jom, kasih mari.
Yeah.
Okay, track kasih mari. Kita nak tengok.
Itu dia. So Zandvoort in the Netherlands opened in 1949. The length 4.3 kilometers long. Did you know it used to be a lot longer? It used to be over 5 kilometers long, but the length got reduced because the land, believe it or not, beside the circuit got sold for a theme park. But the flow and the majesty of this track still remains. An F1 fixture from 1958 to 1985. And did you know, adakah anda tahu, John Hugenholtz, bos pada track Zandvoort ni, dialah pencipta dan designer track Batu Tiga di Selangor.
Uish, really?
Ya.
Aku cakap putih tu.
Itu dia. Terkejut sampai tahap dia boleh cakap orang putih.
Betul baik. Memang ini aku satu info yang aku baru tahu pada hari ni.
So nanti bila kita tengok dekat track tu ada ciri-ciri yang sama macam Batu Tiga.
Yeah.
Memang trademark of John Hugenholtz. You'll see it at Batu Tiga circuit and you'll see it here as well. Fast, flowing, narrow in some places, but a lot of fun to drive in any vehicle. So itu dia. Diorang dah pernah ada sampai race lori, race motor dan race reverse gear pun ada.
Itulah untunglah kalau negara ada track kan. Tapi tak apa, di dunia sim racing, kau cakap je kau nak race kat mana bang.
Ya, itu dia.
Kasih mari je bang. Kalau ada dalam iRacing, go ahead. Itu kebaikan iRacing.
Ya, itu dia. Di mana-mana di dalam dunia ni boleh pergi ke mana-mana juga.
Nak dapatkan part senang je. Android King ada, PlayStation Sim Racing ada. Go ahead.
Betul juga tu. Dan banyak-banyak lagi juga supplier industri di sim racing. The sim racing industry in Malaysia is getting bigger, brighter and better all the time. So it's fantastic to see that happening. But for now, let's go down to Zandvoort. Jom kita pergi ke Zandvoort sekarang. Sekarang kita berada dengan sesi praktis
Bos
pada malam
Bobby
ini.
Farid kita. Nampak kayaknya hari ni dia menjadi hero utama. Dah tukar kepada Akid Pasarum.
Teammate dia sekarang berada di tempat yang pertama dengan Syamir Aizan di tempat kedua. So Akid Pasarum in first place, Syamir in second, Malvin Dajit in third place, Sharil Norafuddin, our LED shift light winner, as my director has just told me, with Sharil in fifth place. Surin Selvaraju from Singapore is in 6th with Nazmi in 7th, Tarmizi in 8th, Azman in 9th and Wan Mukit, a newcomer there, in 10th place. It's going to be very interesting to see how it goes on. Just looking at that entry list, we see the Porsche drivers are ahead just like in Pro, but the BMW drivers are right up there with them, as well as the McLaren drivers. It's going to be much harder for us to try and predict who is going to win.
Menarik ni, aku tengok Kujali menggunakan jumpa BMW.
Sama seperti dalam China Drift Championship.
Ya. Real life dia pun Tegujan dia ada pakai, dia ada SPG M5 kalau tak salah.
Ya, dia ada M5 dan M4 yang dia tengah bawa. Saya tak tahu kalau E90, mungkin E90 pakai muka M4
banyak
dekat
orang
China.
Banyak orang pilih McLaren atau Porsche, tapi terguncang menggunakan BMW.
Yeah.
Aku rasa dia punya BMW DNA test in dia blood.
Itu
Bukan
dia.
senang nak tengok aku cakap orang putih.
Ni rare sebab kita ada dalam studio ni.
Okey. Apa rakan kita cakap? Satu je harapan saya, habis race dan tak jadi lembu. Kalau terlembu, maaf in advice, dia kata.
Tak apa. So kita ada lagi satu. Wow, really? That's amazing. Yes. All sorts of facts and figures coming at you, and do keep in mind with that, because that might come in handy for today's giveaway. And further down the field there we have, yay, gold team Liberace. That's Lloyd Lachlan there. Congratulations on your good results.
Aku sampai sekarang ni apa benda Liberace ni. So aku pun dah tahu je kat ni.
Kalau tahu. If you know, for those of you who want to know why it's called Team Liberace, all I can say is, if you know, you know.
Dia kalau orang Kuala, kalau sebutan macam tu, dia akan pronounce Liberace. Liberace.
Itu dia. Dan lagi satu dia, I'm here to see Surin Savaraju get obliterated by himself. Kenapa? From then till now, there's always one guy that turns up that says, I just want to see Surin Savraju get into some sort of horrible accident. There seems to be like an anti-Surin faction here.
Kita ada satu visual baru.
Yes.
Kita bersama dengan siapa ni?
So right now we're on board with Calvin Ha, and we have a driver cam right there in his living room. Calvin Ha is driving on, I believe it's a motion simulator. So yeah, you can see the sim pitch forward, backwards, left, right, and react with the road. So he'll be able to feel the car just that much better. But it's fantastic. This is something we're trialing for this season there. You can see Calvin Ha really pushing that car very hard. You can see he's reacting to the movement of the simulator and to the movement of the car there. Let's see him coming up into turn 1 right now, feeding the car into the corner. This is known as Tarzan Bosch or Tarzan curve. And you can see the smooth style that Calvin Ha has been known for many years now. Gently into the corner there, a little bit of snap there, but definitely smooth in and fast out. That is Calvin Ha's style. Memang seronok jugalah tengok dia punya driving style.
Macam ni punya setup awak rasa berapa habis ni?
Berpuluh ribu kan?
10,000 Tengok dia punya simulator, dia boleh jalan baik. Kau tengok macam real baik.
Itu dia. Tetapi sebenarnya ceritanya ni, dia bukan keluar duit tu semua sekali, tak.
Pelan-pelan lah,
pelan-pelan dia tambah sini, tambah sana, tambah sini, tambah sana. Lama-lama jadi macam tu lah.
Okey.
Sama macam kereta juga.
Dia boleh tambah sikit aksesori dia. So pada malam ni kita ada berapa pelumba untuk kategori ni, Max?
So kalau tak silap, kita ada 24 yang dah registered. So we have 24 cars registered into the championship. Right now we have 23 cars that are already out there on the track. It's absolutely fantastic, about a 99% entry into the race. Hopefully we'll see the 24th car out there fairly shortly. But it looks like right now Akid Basrom and Syamil Aizan very close together there in first and second place during the practice session. But we'll see how they go during qualifying. Absolutely fantastic.
Okey, sementara itu antara yang menarik perhatian saya, kita ada banyak driver. Antaranya kita ada Malvinderjit Singh daripada Hyperboost pada malam ini, dan juga banyak lagi nama-nama yang ada di season yang pertama tempoh hari turut bersaing hebat pada malam ini. Dan juga Bos Bobby kita juga turut berada di dalam kategori ini pada malam ini.
Tapi kita pun kena shout out dengan geng-geng yang baru juga. So we have a couple of newcomers. Yep, we have a couple of newcomers here. There's one Mukit in 11th place. There's Wajdi in 14th, as well as Lester Neo in 18th place. So a very warm welcome from all of us here in the studio to those drivers out there on track. They are actually quite quick, even though they might be new to us in XOX, but they have been sim racing around several other different series as well. So they've decided to make that step into iRacing and try their skill, test their skill with our drivers here. So memang menarik jugalah.
Ini dia Jasri Junus.
So jom kita tengok Jasri Junus ni. Kalau kita boleh tengok, dia pakai VR. So he's using the VR system right now, but it doesn't mean he's spent all that much actually on his sim racing equipment. He's very quick actually in these GT cars, and it's very deceptive how quick Jasri Junus is. Because he's very fast throughout the course of the race. He's not necessarily quick over a single lap, but definitely a driver to be reckoned with there. So you can see there, just rejoined us with the VR setup, and I believe that is a Logitech G29. RM1,200 satu set untuk semua tu. So boleh dikirakan
untuk steering saja.
Steering, pedal semua.
Okey.
Boleh kirakan itulah yang paling rendah lah kos rendah.
Macam dia punya VR?
Dia punya VR aku rasa dah lebih daripada 2,000 kan, 2,000-3,000. Tu yang mahal lah.
Okey. Tapi macam biasalah macam VR tu tak semua orang biasa menggunakan VR. Dan tak semua orang suka ataupun sesuai menggunakan TV betul kat monitor kat depannya
So untuk VR ni kadang-kadang dia susah sikit, dia penat sikit, tapi dia boleh toleh kepala ke kiri ke kanan, boleh side apex, boleh jumpa apex apa semua tu senang. Lepas tu dia punya perasaan realism tu memang real. Rasa macam ada dalam kereta tu. Memang menakjubkan jugalah teknologi zaman sekarang.
Okey, yang menarik perhatian aku, kita jarangkan kita first time VR boleh mabuk. Serius bang, aku dah try bang. Memang boleh pening bang. Itu aku setuju.
Just like in chat Bob said, it is amazing when you get one of these VR systems on there. We've had him on it once and oh my goodness.
Kalau kau tak biasa kau cloud bang.
So but it's amazing, absolutely amazing to see these guys out there.
Okey, sementara itu yang baru menyaksikan siaran langsung ini yang dibawakan khas kepada anda oleh Adrian Beck, kami minta jasa baik tuan-tuan dan puan-puan supaya tekan like, subscribe dan juga share siaran langsung ini di laman-laman sosial anda. Selain daripada Facebook, kita juga bersiaran di YouTube
dan juga Twitch kalau silap malam ni.
Okey, berbaki 5 minit saja lagi sesi latihan yang diberikan kepada mereka.
And it looks like in the last 5 minutes there's been a change at the top of the leaderboards for the practice session. Syamil Aizan is in first place with Nazmi in second. Akid Basaram's dropped down to third place. Those three drivers are very close together. There could be a very good chance that those three drivers could be battling it out for pole position, but we will look at that very, very soon, I'm sure. Mavidajit and Shahril also have a good chance there. They're just on the cusp of getting into 144s. The rest of the crew there also doing very well. The lap times are actually fairly close to what the pro drivers would be running. Perhaps not as quick as Muhammad Ibrahim during the pole lap there, 143, almost 142. But for the rest of the field there, 144 is quite quick. So these, make no mistakes about it, even though they're in the amateur category, these drivers are fast.
Syarif Nofrin, apa pun tak terlambat lagi untuk aku mengucapkan tahniah sebab beliau baru menang tadi.
Itu dia. Saya tak perasan pula yang Syarif Nurfuddin ni, inilah Syarif Nurfuddin dia.
Aku susah nak lupakan dia sebab dia ni antara komuniti kereta yang geng alang juga ni.
Patutlah. So memang kira geng korang juga lah ni. So that just goes to show anybody can win the prize, not just the drivers, but you too at home. Any person out there can win that simulator map. Tu dia, Hyperboost. So yang pelik, yang interesting pasal season ni, dia kena pilih satu kereta untuk satu season tu, dia kena stick to that car. So
6
mungkin 6 minggu tu dengan track panjang, track pendek. For the first time this season, we'll have a street racing circuit on Detroit Island, Bell Island, and we also have a very special race at the Nürburgring, 20 kilometers long, that racetrack. It's going to be very interesting to see which cars come out on top throughout the course of the season.
Bos XOX Race, bos kita juga turut berlumba di dalam. Dia turut sama-sama memeriahkan acara bersama pelumba-pelumba kita yang lain.
Itu dia pakai livery McLaren zaman dulu tu. Itulah Team Liberace. So Surin Salvaraju, there's a special thing on the roof of the car. It took me by surprise. The last race there, we could just about see it. I believe that is a picture of the singer Liberace on the roof of the car there. So very interesting stuff indeed. Definitely one of the most fun teams on the grid, and also quite quick as well. We had a top 10 from their pro driver Lloyd Lachlan, and we could see a couple more top 10s, maybe even a top 5 from Surin Salvaraju.
Nampak aku dah nampak dah sikit. Itu ke singa dia, penyanyi dia.
And on the top of the roof there's a little thing that says "Hello Max."
Nampak dah.
Itu tulisan "Hello Max." Hi there guys.
Okay, 58 minit, berbaki 1 minit lebih sahaja lagi sebelum sesi ini ditamatkan.
So itu dia, Syamil Aizan still berada di tempat yang pertama. Nazmi Mazli, he's still out there trying to get himself up into first place. He's still driving around there. As much practice. Just as we were about to say, I think that, unfortunately the commentator's curse there might have struck a little bit too hard there. Let's have another look at that incident.
Kita tengok sikit apa yang telah berlaku sebentar tadi.
It looks like Nazmi was trying to run his car out of fuel or something like that. The car was going very slowly. He may have run out of fuel there, and there was a Hyperbull's car just completely unsighted. It is blind going through that section there, so it's very difficult to try and get through very well. But that was some frightening stuff. Hopefully they'll know how long they can go. Sharon Rufudin is also stopping out on track as well. That's the thing with practice. A lot of the times they're going for the fastest lap, and a lot of the times they actually try to drive their cars for as long as possible just to get their fuel consumption.
So Max, kalau macam sesi latihan tadi, kalau katalah kereta tu terbabas ataupun ada impact accident, ada kesan tak sewaktu perlombaan sebentar lagi?
Sepatutnya tiada.
Sepatutnya tiada. So practice tak ada kena dengan
boleh kira dia orang ada practice car dengan race car lah.
Okay.
So masa qualifying pun dia orang takkan ada apa-apa terjejas. Tetapi the one thing is we no longer have fast repair in the pits. So kan dulu kita ada satu fast repair. So kalau ada apa-apa terciduk masa lap pertama ke apa, dia orang boleh masuk cepat-cepat keluar balik kan. Kali ni tiada apa-apa pun. So kalau ada apa-apa accident terciduk ke apa, dia kena masuk dalam pit dan dia kena ambil masa yang realistik untuk repair kereta. So they
biasa agak-agak
depends. Mungkin kalau accident kecil saja mungkin dalam 1-2 minit. Kalau accident sederhana 10 minit. Ada yang sampai boleh 30-40 minit juga.
Itu sangat-sangat menjejaskan. Aku rasa effect banyak lah tu kalau sampai 30 minit, 20 minit tu.
Itu dah boleh kira out of the race lah.
So kepada semua pelumba, hati-hati jangan sampai tercedok.
So that's the thing now. We've had a very clean race, all things considered, during the pro race, but we did have a bit of an accident at the start of the race. So hopefully we've got our fingers crossed here, knock on wood, that we will have a nice clean start to the race here. But one thing is for sure, these guys definitely looking much racier down there in the amateurs.
Okey tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, sekarang ni telah mempunyai sesi qualifying yang mana kita berikan 15 minit untuk menentukan semua catatan dan masa mereka akan menentukan dia punya starting grid. So pastikan semua pelumba cuba buat yang terbaik untuk kali ini.
So the 15 minutes of qualifying have already begun. Just about one last message there from Lloyd Lachlan. Max, Team Liberace will have a different surprise for you at every race this season. I cannot wait. That's going to be absolutely fantastic stuff there. And another comment there, track ni sedang lugu rupanya.
Tak tahu ni, aku tak pasti. Awak rasa?
Mungkin kan sebab dia ada banyak selekor yang tajam.
Sebab tadi sewaktu praktis aku dah nampak 2 insiden. So kita tengoklah nanti. Senang lambu tak senang lambu.
Jom kita saksikan. Let's have a look as we start the qualifying session up ahead there. Hopefully we'll be able to jump on board with one of the drivers right now. We're coming into turn 1 here. I believe we are on board with Tukujan here, going through the first corner there, the Tarzan block. Very difficult to get into and out of the corner there, and it's famous for the big, hard, heavy braking, overtaking maneuvers there. Now coming into turn 4 here, it's banked, so it's very difficult to try and get the line right going through this corner here. Coming out towards the exit, you've got to use all of that curb before you're going through the Sotomaca area. You have to keep the throttle absolutely flat out going through this section here before coming up towards the top of this crest here. He's going to back off maybe a little bit before braking, going down into 4th gear to go in through Shivlak, this awesome downhill high-speed right-hander. Now coming out of this corner here, the old racetrack used to go straight on. There's a theme park there now braking hard before turning right into the new section of the track here. And again, it's very difficult to get the balance going through this corner here. Are you in 2nd gear? Are you in 3rd? Usually these cars not very well tuned for this sort of running. These cars are designed to go flat out at some of the more classic circuits, but around here it's a real challenge to try and get these cars turned around through those 2 corners there. Now coming into the Audi S, very difficult braking zone here before pitching it into the corner. You've got to use a lot of that curb on the right hand side and a lot of that curb on the left hand side, but you can use that banking once again to try and spit the car out as fast as possible. Now the final 2 corners here, you brake You come into this right-hander in third gear, and from now on, the idea is to try and go as fast as possible, almost flat out, if not flat out, through the Irie Lion Dyke corner that ends the lap, coming to the start, finish straight.
Walaupun tak dapat tengok tu hujan beraksi di perumbat yang lain, jangan lepaskan peluang, jangan risau, kita ada hujan dekat sini.
Ya, itu dia.
Wan Bukit. Ini antara kita punya driver baru di season yang kedua.
Yeah, that's right. We have Wan Bukit on the driver cam as well. We thank all the drivers for participating in our little driver cam trial right now. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you more driver cam in the coming years. It looks absolutely spectacular here. Now we'll be able to see what the driver's inputs are coming into the corner here. So now, very heavy, very late on the brakes there, and you can see he likes to put a lot of steering input into the car there to try and really reach the car in. And you can see why the Porsche is quite popular, because it can take those kinds of inputs quite well. But you can see there, Wan Bukit, quite an aggressive driver there. We like to see that sort of action out on track. He's got the car right on the ragged edge, so he's having to put in a lot of steering input to try and keep the car in a line. But that looks like he might be able to do quite a good lap time there. Let's see where he comes up. There we go, 1:45.450.
Keempat terpantas sekarang ini.
Yeah, so right now 5 minutes have gone and Nazmi's gone into the lead. Nazmi is in provisional pole position with a time, I can't quite read that. We have a slight issue there, but anyway, Nazmi is in provisional pole with Mavujijit in second, Sharul in third, Tukujan in fourth, Mukit in fifth, Tarmizi is in sixth place. He's another dark horse that you should look out for. Azman is in seventh, Wajdi is in eighth, Shukran in ninth, Calvin Ha just managed to sneak in into 10th place, Azmi in 11th and Ting in 12th. Only 5 minutes have gone in this 15-minute qualifying session, and pretty sure we're going to see these drivers really push hard in the final 5 minutes. So it's going to be very exciting. Stay tuned.
Kawan kita, kawan Muhammad Azmi, may the downforce be with you.
Yeah.
Downforce
Bukan may the force be with you, may the downforce be with you. Haha. Itu dia. So as you can
ada request lah, boleh ke kalau kita tak producer kita, nama pengkomen tu kalau color tu kita brightkan sikit, boleh ke agaknya, sebab saya nak baca tu agak susah sikit lah.
Kita akan cuba.
Sebab kita ada pakai face shield.
Kita ada pakai face shield dan monitor kami pun monitor third line kita sekarang. So yeah. So minta semua orang boleh komen balik tak?
Komen lagi sekali.
Kita nak test ni, testing.
Warna putih tadi kita boleh baca, tapi nama tu warna purple lah. Warna purple tu
susah sikit.
Nak detect nama tu susah sikit.
Yeah. So do keep commenting down below. We'll start to see those names pop back up very, very shortly.
Yeah.
So do keep commenting and we will respond as soon as we can see them pop up on the screen. But for now, there we go. Jom borak.
Okay juga.
Komen kasih mari.
Bola Tiko daripada Brother Teguh Racing.
Brother Teguh Racing. Terima kasih Brother Teguh sudi.
Yang ni aku dah boleh baca sikit.
Yes, there we go. Korani
Akasha.
Hello.
Kalau kuning okey ke kalau kuning?
Dia susah sikit, dia kena refresh tu.
Itulah. Syami Azri, dua Alien Street Fight. Macam ni barulah boleh nampak nama-nama viewers kita. Thank you. Okay, Abang Syami Azri, apa khabar? Dua Alien Street Fight, Syami versus Azri. Faiz Muhammad, Hafiz versus Padawan pada malam ini.
Kita ada banyak battle ya. There's a lot of verses coming up.
Kelvin. Can you see me or I'm in your blind spot? So, Afiq Fadlan, Acu try test, cuba.
Okay, so far so good. Terima kasih semua untuk sudi test. Thank you very much. So kat sini
barulah kita boleh sebut nama-nama viewers kita.
Sebab kalau kita tak bagi tahu nama, if we don't say your names out loud, it's going to be just a bit disappointing for us.
11.5 sejam. Kita sebenarnya timing kita limit terbatas. Masa bila kita nak berinteraksi dengan rakan-rakan kita ni.
Yes, exactly. Izzat says, hari ni qualify saja tak? Qualifying and the race as well. So do stay tuned. Kita akan ada sesi kualifikasi dan terus masuk ke dalam race sekali.
Amin Farhad, Encik buat dan Max still match XU. Terima kasih.
Cik, wah.
Okay, kita teruskan dengan Syarul.
Yes, so Cheryl there. Right now we're watching on board with Cheryl Noorafudin's steering inputs right now. Again, very, very different steering inputs. You don't tend to see it when you're on board in the cars there, but when you have vision of the steering wheel as they're trying to drive around the track there, you can see the amount of steering input some of the drivers are putting. Some of the drivers are very smooth and tidy, but as we're looking there with Cheryl, he's quite aggressive as well. Really throwing the car into the apex there and really using the rear end of the car to try and steer the car into the corners. As they say sometimes, some drivers are quite strong at the front end of the car, some drivers are strong at the rear end of the car. What that means is that some drivers like the rear end to slide, but they don't like the front to slide, and vice versa. So it looks like Cheryl here, one of those drivers that really likes the rear end to slide around a little bit.
Okay, Kevin D, race starting in
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yes. So in 8 minutes to go, it's a good opportunity to go and look at the top 10. Right now, Nazmi is still on provisional pole position. Shamir is in second. Akid is in third. Mavidijit in fourth. Sharil in fifth. Shahrul in sixth place. Tukujan is in seventh with our newcomer Mukit in eighth. The Singaporean Surin Savaraju in ninth place. And Tamizi rounding out the top 10.
Faiz Muhammad, malam ni Chill tak commentate sekali ke? So malam ni, hari ni saya menggantikan Chill sekejap. Okey, tuan-tuan dan puan, kita ada berbaki lebih kurang dalam 5 minit saja lagi dalam sesi qualifying ni. So kita minta semua drivers dapat berikan yang terbaik sebab ini penting qualifying ni yang menentukan di manakah kedudukan starting grid mereka sebentar lagi.
Yeah, so it's going to be very important to try and get a very good starting position on the grid because unlike the previous season, we're going to be using a rolling start for the race. Rolling start pada kali ini.
Static
Sebab kereta GT4 ni memang dia terpaksa pakai rolling start, clutch kecil. Senang nak overheat, so kita pakai rolling start pada kali ini. Macam NASCAR sikit lah.
Betul. So 3 jentera yang berbeza, tak ada macam season 1. Season 1 kita hanya gunakan jentera Mazda 6. So untuk kali ni, season 2 kita gunakan Porsche, McLaren dan juga body BMW. Berapa horsepower agaknya?
Lebih kurang dalam 400 horsepower. So around 400 horsepower. Of course, the BMW has a little bit more, but it's heavier. And the Porsche has around the middle, and the McLaren is the lightest car, but it has the least amount of horsepower. So that's how the BOP sort of stacks up. The McLaren, lightest, least powerful. The BMW, heaviest, most powerful. And Porsche seems to me and to a lot of pro drivers that the Porsche seems to be the sweet spot between high horsepower and low weight.
Tadi aku dapat macam Syarul dan juga Teguh Jan, dia lebih selesa menggunakan jentera BMW. So malam ni aku nak tengok percentage berapa ramai yang pakai BM, berapa ramai yang pakai McLaren, berapa ramai yang pakai Porsche untuk kategori ini.
So kita boleh tengok dia punya cara nak bawa pun ada lain-lain. Dia punya driving style. So the driving style with the Porsche is very balanced. It can take a lot of different styles of driving. Whereas with the McLaren, it's very nervous. It can slide quite easily. The BMW is more like a touring car than a GT car. You can really drive the car in a line and really get the most out of it. It can also handle a little bit of sliding, especially if you provoke the car to a slide. You can actually catch the slide quite easily.
Sorry. Abang Roy, Mazda MX-5. Sorry. Itu tak lepas, season 1.
Tak, kita sebenarnya idam Mazda 6.
Okey, tuan-tuan, masih lagi Sami berada di tempat pertama, Nazmi di tempat kedua, Akid di tempat yang ketiga, manakala Malvin Singh keempat terpantas pada malam ini. Sesi qualifying kita telah pun memasuki minit ke-12, 30 saat, berbaki 2 minit lebih saja lagi sebelum kita saksikan perlombaan ini.
There you have it, another one of our newcomers, Alif Yahdi has already gone out onto the track as well. We're riding along with Wajdi right now, watching his car flow through the Slaughtermarker S's. Very, very tricky section here because you're trying to go flat out through these sweeping corners before coming into the braking zone here into a downhill right-hander. I suspect along with turn 1 and as we saw previously turn 4, that banked left-hander, this corner is going to be the site of some dramas as well. Very difficult corner, looks far more difficult than it does on the map, and very, very high speed as well. 4th gear right up in the rev range. So kita boleh kirakan yang turn 1, turn 3 ataupun turn 4 yang kiri tu dengan kat atas track tu, yang itu yang tempat bahaya, danger zone dia. Izzat minta tanya semalam siapa commentating partner Max? Itu ya Michael Hafiz, pelumba negara kami.
Ya.
Dan boleh dikirakan memang havoc jugalah Michael punya commentary style. All or nothing, absolutely fantastic stuff.
Start daripada mula sampai habis.
Itulah kita, kalau dalam industri kita cakap itu rev limit commentary. Dia belanja malam tu memang best.
All out itu dah pagi habis tu.
Itu dia memang. So right now it looks like all the drivers have gone into the pits except for Wajdi and Yahdi. Right now pounding around the track right now in 15th and 21st position. They'll try and improve on their lap times. 1 more minute left on the clock, and it looks like Shame Aizan is going to be the man on provisional pole position.
Okay, go guys. Ada beberapa saat saja lagi sebelum sesi qualifying ini ditamatkan.
Yes, that's right. 30 seconds to go, and once the clock strikes midnight, as they say, that's going to be the end of the session, and we will go on to the grid.
Sekejap je. Qualifying 15 minit, pejam celik habis. Dan masih lagi Syamir masih lagi menjadi pemegang catatan masa yang terpantas, manakala Nazmi dan juga Akin kedua dan juga ketiga di belakang beliau.
Ya, itu dia. So nampak juga macam dia punya gap semua dekat-dekat tu.
Sangat-sangat sama. Tempat pertama 144, manakala yang belakang sekali Fairuz 146. Ini bermakna 2 minit saja.
Ya, 2 saat.
2 saat, sorry.
So yeah, just like Bob mentioned, there is only 2 seconds that cover the entirety of this grid. It's going to be a very close race indeed. So now the drivers are beginning to load up. Let's have a quick look at the weather there. 22 degrees Celsius, the halfway point there in humidity, 55% humidity. It's going to be a very interesting race indeed. Partly cloudy, but it looks like the weather is going to hold out. We're at Circuit Zandvoort for the amateur class round 1 race of this season right here in Zandvoort. And now on to the grid. Shame Aizan there in first place for Hyperbulls GT with a time of 144.329. Nazmi Mazli, the Pico Padawan Bandit, just 0.06 of a second behind in second place. Akid Basarom is in third place, followed by Malvinder Jit Singh, Cheryl Nurafuddin, Cheryl Jaffa, Tuku Jan Le, Wan Mukit, Surin Selvaraju and Tarmizi Yusof rounding out the top 10. It's going to be very difficult to look for a winner in this race. Something very special indeed.
Okey, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kami persembahkan kepada anda perlombaan yang terpadu, yang terlaju, yang terhebat pada malam ini sebentar lagi. Dan perlombaan ini akan bermula bila-bila masa daripada sekarang. Okey, yang baru mengikuti live streaming ini, kami minta jasa baik tuan-tuan dan puan-puan supaya dapat share, tekan like dan subscribe dan juga kongsikan live streaming ini di laman-laman sosial anda.
So all the drivers are beginning to load in to their grid spots. We're just waiting for a few more drivers to come in before we let the red lights go out. You can see the lights are on already. As soon as the lights change, they will go on their parade lap behind the Porsche 911 safety car. Again, it looks like Mama Porsche is taking his kids down there. 4 top 4 ke top 5 tu yang semua Porsche came
Porsche.
Yeah. So it'll be a battle between the McLaren 570S, the BMW M4 and the Porsche Cayman GT4, which looks to me like it's going to be very, very close indeed between all of the drivers.
Aku menarik, aku terdengar Max cakap tadi Mama Porsche duduk kat depan lead. Safety car.
Itu dia, sebab safety car kan Porsche 911.
Ya.
Kat belakang dia semua Porsche 718. So anak sikit lah, anak kita. So we can see the SM Hobbies in there. That's Shukran. Dia ada team satu kereta saja. Team Doraemon jugalah ni, SM Hobbies tu.
Berapa biji? Agaknya berapa persen Porsche? Berapa persen Porsche pada malam ni?
Saya rasa mungkin Porsche paling banyak, tetapi ada 3 McLaren dan BMW pun ada juga. Mungkin 50% Porsche, 50% lain lah. Nampaknya memang lagi banyak
50, 25 lah.
Ya, lebih kurang macam tu lah. So it looks like it's a much more mixed grid right now. We're riding on board with Boss Bobby there, Bobby Farid in 13th place. All the drivers are now trying to get some heat into the tyres, get some temperatures, pressures, and they really must be feeling the nerves right now. First race of the season, they really want this to go off with a bang. Memang boleh dikirakan nervous juga kan.
Itu yang menariknya bila rolling start ni.
Ya, dia ada satu chance saja, dia tak boleh.
Tapi
Bahagia.
untuk rolling start dia ada, orang kata dia kena ada etika dia. So setiap pelumba harus ikut di dalam dua lane yang sama, tak boleh memintas di antara satu sama lain. Selagi Mama Porsche kita tak puas hati, selagi itulah dia akan tetap keep on rolling.
Yes, itu dia. So nanti kalau kita nampak Mama Porsche masuk dalam tu, the lights are gonna go on, and from that point on, as soon as they hit the grid, it's away we go. If the start is safe, the lights will go out and we will be racing. Right now we're at the top of the track. Wan Mukit, Tengku Janleh. Memang banyak, memang special juga race ni.
Yang mana berminat dengan Tengku Jan, malam ni Tengku Jan bersama dengan kita.
Ya, dan Tengku Jan berada di tempat ke atas lah. Di posisi yang ke-6, bawa BMW. So siapa-siapa fanboy BMW memang itulah masa nak cuba push.
Di season yang pertama itu hari, di hujung-hujung Tengku Jan merupakan salah satu seorang pelumba wildcard.
Itu dia.
Siapa yang mengikuti kami daripada season yang pertama dahulu.
So Tengku Jan adalah salah satu daripada wildcard kami, dan Royal Charles juga.
Betul.
Sekarang dia masuk dalam season penuh. So memang istimewa jugalah pada malam ni. So we're going to head up towards the Audi S's there. The drivers all neatly in a row right now. They have in their cockpits a race director screen that's going to pop up, so that will tell them who to follow behind, which lane, which side of the road they're going to have to be in, and whether they're close enough or not to the back of the car. So they're just going to be focused on that right now, and it's going to be very, very special indeed. So now we are coming up towards the final two corners there. The lead car is beginning to come around to the start of the race. They're a little bit all over the place right now at the start, but as we come around the Ari Lyondike bend again, the race directors got their eyes out on track. It looks like it's going to be a clean start. All the drivers are there in first and second places. We're about to go any moment now. Keep your eye on that Mama Porsche right there. He's going to go into the pits in the most ridiculous way possible there, and now the lights are on and they are hitting full throttle, and away they go. Shami Aizan's now in first place with Nazmi in second and Akit in third, coming into the turn one there. Their car's going 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, coming through the first bend there. Now coming up towards that difficult left-hander there. Really tricky stuff indeed. Tengku Jan there gaining a position there. Few of the drivers there, and there's a crash up the back there. It looks like one of the Liberace cars and one of the TKKR cars have gotten themselves into a tangle, but it looks like the race is going to keep going on. And now we see Tamizi Yusuf recovering from that little incident there. He's going to try and climb his way up the field, but it looks like Shami Aizan's managed to get himself up into the lead. And it looks like Shami Aizan has managed to get a little bit of a gap between himself and second place Nazmi. There you go, 1.3 seconds there. Akid, Malvindajit, Sharil and Jan are all within 1 second of each other. Absolutely fantastic racing there. Memang dekat sekarang ya.
Okey, kedudukan sekarang ini sambil mendahului perlombaan diikuti rapat oleh Nazmi, Akid yang berada di belakang beliau, Malvindajit, Sharil dan juga Tengku Jan di tempat ke-6 sekarang ni. Kedudukan inilah dia kedudukan di dalam lap yang pertama, tuan-tuan. Okey, untuk makluman tuan-tuan dan puan-puan semua, perlombaan ini akan berlangsung sehingga 40 minit. So kita tak tahu lagi berapa pusingan yang akan dapat dilakukan. Okey, berikan tumpuan kepada Tengku Jan Lee sekarang ini, jentera nombor 12, berada di kedudukan nombor 6 menggunakan jentera BMW beliau.
Ya, dan posisi dia agak ketat juga ya. We can see all the drivers there still very close together, very much bunched up. Only a small incident there at the start of the race. We are still going green right now. The rest of the field has managed to get away rather cleanly, and we're all onto full throttle racing. Now, of course, there is a benefit in that without a first corner incident, they're not going to have to restart. They're not going to have to do anything too weird or difficult there. But the one thing they're not going to be able to do is learn from the previous round's mistakes and the previous round's lessons, because yesterday we had that safety car period, so a lot of these guys would have been watching that and they would have been learning from that and learning about what the correct strategy is going to be right. That's out of the window right now. They've got to have to look after themselves. They've got to really have to learn on their own when is the right time to pit. That's going to be the real secret there. But never mind all of that. All of these GT guys are really going to push hard to try and get into position.
Nampak gayanya Porsche mendahului 4 yang terpantas. Tapi jangan lupa Syaril Jan menggunakan engine terbiam W juga berada 10 yang ke hadapan. So bagian pusat doesn't matter, model doesn't matter. Dia bergantung pada siapa yang memandu di belakang steeringnya.
Yeah, itu dia Syaril right there. In 13th place, that's Surin Selvaraju. He's managed to recover from that incident and now trying to climb his way up the field. He's gone right up to the back of Wajdi there and Mukit, the two newcomers who are doing quite well for themselves, pushing their Porsche Caymans pretty hard right now through that infield section there. Let's see if Surin is able to do anything coming into the braking zone up ahead here. Looks like they're closing up and closing up and closing up just ever so slightly there. But under brakes, it looks like the Porsche just a little bit better under brakes than Surin's car. He's also got Fred Ting, his teammate in Team Liberace, right behind him there, so they can work as a team. This is quite interesting as well because Wajdi and Mukit are also the part of the same team as well. So this could be a chance for some intra-team battling. Very interesting stuff coming up towards this section here. And they're all still very close to each other. So the pit lane strategy might still be the deciding factor in this race.
Okay, cuk Max. Persoalan aku itu hari waktu qualifying tempoh hari. So sekarang ni tim dah memang orang kata dah ditentukan.
Ya.
Diorang ni macam mana? Diorang berbincang sesama diorang ke ataupun akan ada orang yang aturkan siapa pergi dengan siapa, siapa pergi dengan siapa?
Ya, so
macam
biasanya driver akan cari driver lain-lain untuk cuba geng. Untuk macam tim Liberace tu kawan sesama kawan lah. Itu dia.
So
tetapi kalau
pernah timbulkan sewaktu qualifying tempoh hari.
Ya. Tetapi di dalam sini macam setengah tim, macam tim TKKR, mungkin dia ada team manager. Kalau tim-tim besar ni lah, dia ada team manager. The team manager will pick the drivers.
Fred Ting daripada Brunei boleh berkawan dengan Suresh daripada Singapore kali
ya,
ni.
itu dia.
Tim Liberace.
Yes. So a driver from Australia who lives in Malaysia, and a Singaporean and a Brunei driver. So basically four nationalities, four countries involved in the creation of Team Liberace, and they are not the only team with international drivers as well. Of course, all very much welcome to try and give the Malaysians as much experience in battling with the international contingent. They're really raising the profile of the series all throughout Asia. We thank them for joining us during the course of this race. But for now, Syamir Aizan still in first place, but Nazmi is catching up. He's catching up ever so slightly, bit by bit. And whilst Nazmi is trying to catch up with Syamir, there's of course Akid Basarom behind him as well, who's catching up even more so. So only 0.3 of a second between Akid Basarom and Nazmi. This could be another battle brewing right now during the course of the race there. And just as they are beginning to build themselves up in terms of pace going through the curves here, let's see where Akid is going to get that position.
Sebentar itu di ruangan komen Syahmi Azli, Nazmi atau Syahmi boleh dapat Grand Challenge race ni. Apa tu? Grand Challenge?
Grand Challenge. Itu kena tengok dalam kamus.
Okey, sebentar itu Jan Bluebird, go Hyperboost, go!
Yeah, itu dia. So coming up towards lap 4 of the race, 6 minutes have passed. Syamir is still in the lead, Nazmi in second place. Akid's dropped back just a little bit there. Meanwhile, we're looking at Lester Neo trying to catch up with Muhaimin right now, to two BMWs battling one against each other, and it's going to be very, very challenging indeed to try and close up that gap. 0.8 seconds is still a bit too difficult to try and battle with each other.
Timing dia sangat-sangat
sangat. Itu dia. Dia hanya ada satu je yang 6 saat antara Muhaimin dengan Neo, tapi lain semua everything is under 2 seconds, apart from Azman there 2.7 seconds behind Syaril, but definitely still within striking distance. So everyone's within striking distance of each other. Of course, they're still plotting and scheming and trying to figure out what the best way is going forwards when it comes to the pit lane strategy. Pit stop tu lah nanti akan jadi memang penting.
Ini bukan hari pertama saya masuk ke season yang kedua ni. Macam semalam masuk pit stop, agaknya minit yang berapa baru dia masuk pit stop. Dia bergantung pada strategi ke macam mana?
Ya, dia bergantung banyak kepada strategi. So for instance, someone can pit early, so dia akan berpecut selaju yang boleh. Masa first starting tu dia akan masuk pit, lepas tu dia keluar, lepas tu dia endurance. Kan? Lepas tu ada
semua genre, maknanya kita ada 24 minit, wajib masuk sekali pit stop.
Sekali, walaupun untuk repair accident ataupun isi 0.2 liter pun wajib kena masuk ke dalam pit. So it's a mandatory pit stop, and we have to at least do something for the car. The car has to stop, and some mechanical work has to be done. Either a tyre change or fuel needs to go into the car, even if it's 0.2 litres. That is the challenge, trying to get that pit stop in. And by the looks of things during the pro race, it looks like they have quite a bit more. They're able to actually race longer than half distance on a tank of fuel. But of course, there was a safety car period during that time, so that could change things quite a bit. But for now, it looks like lap 5. I suspect in lap 10 or 11, lap 10 ke lap 11, itu yang majority akan masuk.
Tapi bila kita cerita pasal isi minyak, masuk pit dan semua, aku teringat season 1 tu ada satu statement yang kelakar. Alamak bang, terlupa nak isi minyak lah bang. Dia sepatutnya dia boleh menghabiskan beban tu sebenarnya, tapi dah lalas sendiri rupanya. Alamak, tak isi minyak lagi bang.
Alamak.
Agaknya siapa tu? Mungkin boleh ingatkan balik, boleh isikan jawapan di ruangan komen.
Mana tahu kan, sebab kita pun dah kadang dah lupa benda-benda yang faktor histori ni.
Ya, betul-betul. Okey, kita teruskan dengan perlombaan kita sekarang ini. Okey, kedudukan pertama sekarang ini masih lagi milik Syamil. Nasib di tempat kedua, Akid di tempat ketiga, Melvin Dijit Singh di tempat keempat, manakala Syahrir di tempat kelima, Azman di tempat keenam. Itu dia 6-nya terpantas sekarang ini kedudukan yang ke-8. Okey, Akid Basarung daripada TTR Racing, jentera nombor 3, masih lagi berada di tempat 3 di hadapan sekarang ini.
Yeah, itu dia. So Akid Basram, he's half a second, in fact he's 0.4 of a second behind Nazmi, so that is pretty much in the battle zone. Once you see that interval go orange, you know that there's going to be some exciting battles happening up there. And it looks like Shamir might have made a mistake there, because Nazmi's caught up right up to the back of Shamir. This could be an interesting battle brewing right now, because these three Porsches are starting to get closer and closer together. I don't know if Shamir is planning on going long in his first stint. I don't know if Akid is planning on going short, but it looks like this could be a chance. And as you can see there, actually you can see Akid beginning to move around, trying to look to the left, to the right, to try and see if he can get past there. It looks like this might be an attempt at an overtaking maneuver coming into the Audi curves. He doesn't quite pull it off yet, but let's have a look. Coming on to the main straight, I'm sure he's going to try something to get past that number 300 Porsche.
Dapat kita saksikan sekarang ini kamera kita menumpukan tumpuan ke 3 kereta yang berada di kelompok hadapan sekarang ini. Ini adalah merupakan footage daripada kereta Akid Basaro daripada TKR Racing.
Ya, itu dia. Ada kemungkinan besar kita akan tengok position change juga sekarang. As you can see there, Shamir is moving to the left and to the right to try and break the slipstream effect for the drivers behind them. The drivers behind have to react, have to try and push on. Ooh, it looks like Shamir's gone wide coming in through there. Nazmi is still in second place there. He could have taken the advantage, but he decided discretion is the better part of valor. And you know what? I do have to believe him. I do have to sort of agree with him on that part there. It's very difficult to try and get a overtaking maneuver done at Tarzan curve.
Tapi nampak gaya Samir Aizan kali ni bila menggunakan jentera Porsche ni, beliau macam sangat-sangat selesa berlumba. Berbeza bila menggunakan jentera yang terdahulu sebelum ni. Nampak gaya Samir Aizan dia memang suka kot bawa Porsche ni.
Ada beberapa juga pemandu yang boleh dikirakan dia memang suka dekat GT, kereta GT. So macam Melvin Dijit Singh pun sekarang berada di tempat teratas. Akid Basarom juga, Syarul dan Syaril pun juga Kevin Ha pun sampai berada di dalam top 10. So memang banyak tukar. Kita punya form guide dah tak boleh terpakai daripada zaman MX-5. Sekarang kita dah masuk dalam kereta baru. Alien baru akan muncul.
Ya, ditambah pula dengan kita pelumba-pelumba baru kita yang mana kita tak dapat nampak dekat season 1, kali ni muncul di season yang kedua kali ini.
Itu dia. Macam Lester Neo dengan Wajdi dengan Mukit tu pun agak laju juga. Mukit di tempat 11, Wajdi di tempat yang 12 dan Neo di tempat yang 17. Semua berada di kira midfield pack sekarang.
Okey, apa pun ia memang masih lagi terlalu awal kerana kita baru masuk minit ke-12 yang mana ini adalah lap yang ke-7. Di dalam perlumbaan macam-macam boleh jadi bang. Macam-macam boleh jadi.
Ya, itu dia. So right now, Shame Haizan still in the lead right now. He's managed to open up that gap again. He's reacting to Nazmi and Akid, putting a lot of pressure behind him right now. Meanwhile, we're on board with Azman Abdullah. There, he's got that big BMW behind him, and it's not just any driver driving that BMW. It's Teguh Lay, and you can see there, Azman and Sharul, the gap was coming down just a little bit of a snafu there in lap 5, but the gap is coming down. So Azman catching up with Sharul, but Teguh there not far behind. This could be an interesting battle there. You can see there Teguh is definitely improving on his gap there. So it looks to me like Azman's slowly going backwards while Teguh is slowly catching up with the cars up ahead. It's going to be absolutely spectacular to see how this is going to end up.
Okey, kedudukan yang terkini sekarang ni, Sami di tempat pertama, Nazmi di tempat kedua, Akid di tempat ketiga. Kita masih lagi kekal bersama Azman Abdullah mewakili Sim Al Garage Sim Sport di kedudukan yang ketujuh menggunakan Porsche sekarang ini. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang baru menyaksikan live stream ini, kami minta jasa baik tuan-tuan dan puan-puan supaya dapat like, subscribe dan juga share live streaming ini di laman-laman sosial anda. Kita akan bersiaran setiap hari Jumaat dan juga hari Sabtu, lebih kurang time-time macam ni lah.
Itu dia. Dan jangan lupa, don't forget to like Adrenaline Impact and Vertex Esports and share this stream for your chance to win a prize. Fairly soon, around minute 25 to minute 30, we will ask you the question and you'll be able to answer, and if you can answer correctly, you could be in for a random lucky draw at the end of the race.
Ada giveaway?
Ada giveaway juga. Simulator map tadi daripada Precision Sim Racing. Absolutely fantastic.
Ini yang aku suka mengenai perlumbaan season 2. Sama macam season 1, setiap hari, setiap kali kita ada live streaming, mesti ada hadiah menarik.
Itu dia. So special thanks there for Precision Sim Racing and to Android King who gave away those LED shift lights there. But that premium, very nice quality simulator mat will be a gift from Precision Sim Racing to our lucky winners. Special thanks to Android King and Precision Sim Racing, and also to our guests, our media partners, Gallery Creator. Do check them out there.
Okay, giveaway ni soalannya biasanya bila? Minit-minit ke berapa agaknya?
Sekejap lagi dalam minit 20 ke 25 macam tu lah.
So kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang baru menyaksikan live stream ini, jangan lepaskan pandangan daripada monitor anda. Jangan ke mana-mana. Kalau kita lihat power handset bang, tengok.
Tu dia.
Aiman Zubir, go Hyper Bulls.
There we go. We see Jai Bluebird and Aiman Zubir there, strong supporters of Hyperbull Jai, managing to make the leap from Am to Pro for this season 2 of the championship. That's where he is right now. He did quite well for himself in the pro sessions. Right now we're looking at Surin Selvaraju back on track there. He's trying to catch up with Wajdi up ahead, and it looks like the gap has been going lower and lower and lower as they go through. But our first pit stop has begun there. Bobby Farid has gone into the pits. I guess because he was quite far back at the start there, Nabil and Bobby has decided to go into the pits early and try and go long to try and gain some positions.
Okey, nampaknya lap 9 minit 15 dah ada tunggu yang telah masuk ke dalam pit sekarang ini. Itu antara taktik je. Kita nak tengok, sebenarnya aku pun masih baru lagi dalam dunia sim racing. So kita akan cuba ambil data siapa yang agaknya menang ataupun skill mana. Masuk awal dulu ke ataupun masuk lambat yang boleh kata mendapat kedudukan yang terbaik.
So itulah challenge dia, sebab kita takkan tahu sampai hujung race. It looks like, it looks like Surin Selvaraju is going to try and look for a gap. He decides not to go for it. Wajdi in second place. And there we go. We do apologize there. iRacing decided to dork out on us for a second. But we're back. I do apologize for that. But Surin Selvaraju there, like I was saying, he tried to sort of jink Wajdi out of the way there, but Wajdi a lot wiser than his record may suggest. He's going to try and keep Surin behind him as much as possible, because remember, these two drivers are working in a team. Mukit and Wajdi are driving as a team to try and keep these two Liberace drivers behind them. That's the driver of Surin and Fred Ting. So a very, very interesting battle still going on right now. It's all going to come off, I believe, during the pit stop period. So once they go through the pits there, that's when you're going to see a lot of the action there. It looks like a lot of the drivers are still waiting on that pit stop to try and overtake
Ya, Zulfikri Wajdi sekarang ini daripada Sidewinder Racing berada di kedudukan yang ke-12 sekarang ini diikuti dapat oleh Surin Silveraju, Tim Liberace kali ini diorang masih lagi bersaing, maknanya bergandingan, tidak meninggalkan satu sama lain, sama juga dengan Wajdi dan juga Wan Bukit. Dan mereka ni dua pasukan bersaing hebat cuba mengejar Syukran yang berada di hadapan beliau.
Ya, itu dia. So semua tim baru ni. So all of these teams are new to the championship. We have teams that have been around for quite a while there, but we have the Sidewinder team racing against Team Liberace there, and SM Hobbies, another team that is new to the championship. And of course we have the returning Sim Arc Garage there. Tengku Janlei still pushing very hard to get past Azman. Very interestingly, we haven't actually seen anyone overtake on cam just yet, but there's a lot of battling right now. There's a lot of chess play, a lot of tactical driving, a lot of mind games there, and it's really quite interesting to watch there. Tengku Janlei still trying to out-chess his opponent ahead of him, Azman there, Azman from Sim R Garage, and it'll be interesting to see who's going to come out on top here, but it looks like this is another battle that's going to depend all on the pit strategy right now.
Antara pilihan pelumba yang dijadikan pilihan orang kata video geli kereta, jangan lepaskan peluang. Saksikan video dalam geli kereta yang mana mereka cuba mendekati Tengku Jan dan juga Azman CR ini.
Yeah.
Nanti ada video dia.
Yeah,
nantikan.
itu dia. So right now we can see Tengku Janlei is going all over the back of Azman right now, going around the inside, around the outside. This could be an opportunity for Tengku Jan to try and get another position out on track. He almost had it going through there, and it looks like the Porsche does indeed have a weak point. Very slow speed corners. The Porsche doesn't seem to like to hook up as well as the BMW. Now you can see Tengku Jan trying to catch up with Azman. Now the trick here is through the medium and high speed corners. The BMW is a little bit weak when it comes to its downforce game there, but it looks like he's able, Tengku Jan just about able to try and keep up with Azman through the high speed corners here. Let's see if he can draft his way down the straight there. Nah, Tengku Jan,
ini jenis kejar tak nak lepas ni.
ya, itu dia. Sampai lepas perlumbaan, sampai nak masuk dalam kapak, sampai nak balik ke rumah pun.
Azman CR ni pun bukan cara-cara orang sebenarnya.
Yeah.
So Tengku Jan dia tengok, dia geram je tengok. Sampai sekarang dia tak nak lepaskan pula. Dia cuba lagi.
Ya, itu dia. That's the trick. He's going to try his hardest. He knows he's best in the slow speed corners. Azman set up, not quite hooking up in the slow speed corners there. Tengku Jan's BMW hooking up beautifully through the slow speed bends there. So di antara slow speed dengan high speed, satu kuat dekat slow, satu kuat dekat high speed.
Ya, betul. Dapat aku saksikan macam Tengku Jan tadi, dia sebenarnya dia macam dia keluar pun agak lebar, mungkin sebab berat kot.
Ya, itu dia. So now Termizi, Mohaimin and Neo have gone into the pits right now, and that has opened the floodgates. Lap 12 as opposed to lap 11. Just one extra from our prediction there. There's quite a few drivers who've gone into the pits. That is the midpoint of the race. It does appear to me that the leaders are going to try and go long. They might try to pit at lap 15 even.
Muhammad Rizal Azmi daripada Harpurus PR berada di kedudukan yang 19 sekarang ini menggunakan Porsche. Cuba mengejar Muhammad di hadapan beliau. Bukan
Ya, itu dia Azmi
dengan
Muhammad.
Betul.
Ya.
Umar Abdul Aziz macam tahu je dan toilet. Ini isu tadi, jangan tinggalkan telefon. Sebab kita ada giveaway, jangan lepaskan, jangan ke mana-mana. Mungkin soalan tu ada sewaktu kita bersiaran ni, jawapan itu nanti.
Ya, betul juga tu. So, like I said, once I asked the question, the answer to the question might not be that easy to look up on the good old Wikipedia, but I will let you in on a secret. I probably have already said something during the course of this broadcast. I would have let slip what the answer to the question is. So for those of you guys who've been watching from start to finish, you stand a chance to win. Do like Adrenaline Impact and Vertex Esports along with some of our sponsors there, and share this stream around for your chance to win. And I believe it'll come at around minute 25 to minute 28, sometime like that. I will get the signal and we will be ready to go. But right now, Wan Bukit berada di tempat yang 10 sekarang.
Kena ingat perlombaan kita ni memang lama, yang mana 40 minit lamanya. Dalam 40 minit aku rasa lebih kurang dalam 25 lap, mungkin 22 lap macam tu.
Ya, lebih kurang macam tu.
Lebih kurang macam tu. Wan Bukit
Ya, itu dia. So right now, most of the drivers haven't pitted yet, but Akid Basrom already has. He's decided to go for the undercut strategy. Remember, he was right up at the front of the field there. He's now dropped down to 14th place. He's going to have to try and fight through a lot of drivers before they pit in order to try and get themselves up. But the gap's opening up quite a lot now. As you can see there, right throughout the field there. That goes to show that a lot of the drivers have spread themselves out. This is starting to get into that pit window, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys handle that situation right now. There's still some battles going on. Mukit and Wajdi still very close to each other. It looks like Surin and Thing are dropping back a little bit. Perhaps they're saving their tyres, perhaps they're saving their fuel. Tadi kita nampak dia orang boleh juga ikut, tapi sekarang dia orang back off sikit dia.
Okey, dan kedudukan yang terkini tadi Jan cuba mengejar Azman Sipar, dan kali ini betul Jan telah pun berjaya memintas Azman sekarang ni. Dapat kita saksikan kalau boleh kita tengok dekat footage Jan.
Itu dia. So Tunku Jan's managed to overtake there. Let's have a look into the replay there, and a classic dive bomb move going into the Tarzan curve there, heavy on the brakes, taking that initiative going into turn 1, getting the cars side by side before getting out on top. Tunku Jan lay with a classic Zandvoort move, heavy braking into Tarzan. Absolutely spectacular stuff there in the replay.
Kalau tengokkan dari segi size dia, memang BMW tu memang sangat lebih besar, lebih gempak daripada Porsche. Tapi ialah dalam perlombaan ni size doesn't matter, bro.
Itu dia, betul juga. So there we go. Tunku Jan is in 6th place. Azman in 7th, going into the pit stops, and that's why they were backing off a little bit. Surin deciding to go into the pits there, I'm sure. Mukit also going into the pits there, reacting to Surin's move there, but it looks like Surin Sovaraju managing to get in front of one Mukit, and there's another car that's managed to overtake him, Rizal Azmi. So very, very interesting stuff indeed there. It looks like it's all happening right now. Surin was up there where Akid Basrom is right now, but now he's dropped down because he's taken that pit stop there, and he is again another driver that's trying to undercut the opposition.
Perebutan tempat ke-17, itu dia di antara Muhammad Surin dan juga Mukit. Wan Mukit. Antara peserta baru yang dapat kita saksikan di season yang kedua pada kali ini.
Ya, memang istimewa juga. Pelumba-pelumba baru yang boleh masuk dan boleh mencabar veteran-veteran daripada series ni.
Ini kalau dah masuk season tu, kita boleh katakan yang pelumba yang lama tu main veteran lah, otai lah.
Boleh kirakan veteran lah. Sebab ada juga veteran daripada series AIMC yang
lagi veteran
tahun lepas, macam Calvin Ha, Syamil Aizan, Surin Sabaraju, sebegitu. So itu dia. And someone has just handed me a envelope right now. Meanwhile, Yahdi and Jasri getting very close to each other there. Let's see what is going to happen with this battle coming down into the start finish straight there. This is going to be where this action is going to go down. Let's see if they close up any closer there. It looks like Yahdi's definitely got the opportunity right now to try and go past there. He didn't quite get it done this time around, but I suspect during the course of this lap, Yahdi will try and get his way past Jasri.
Azman Abdullah masih lagi berada di tengah berjaya memintas Tunku Jan seperti tadi. Nampak gaya Tunku Jan dan juga Azman Abdullah saling memintas. Kod kalau boleh tengok replay, ini dia replay dia.
And
Tunku Jan terbabas.
Yeah, it looks like Tunku Jan's run wide there, and he's lost quite a lot of time there. That is going to be big news there for Azman Abdullah. That's one BMW away from the front of him. Tunku Jan managing to get himself back up to 7th place there, but that's a big incident for Tunku Jan. A rare mistake. He's definitely feeling the pressure to try and get past the Porsches and prove all of those haters wrong. Yes, a BMW can indeed race with a Porsche, and we're seeing a fantastic battle this time around.
Jangan main bro dengan orang-orang lama Sim Argarage Sim Sport.
Ya, otai daripada sebelah Sim dengan otai sebelah real.
Ya, betul tu. Okey, manakala Maldenjit Singh berada di kedudukan yang keempat daripada Hyperbulls.
Yeah, so right now Hyperbulls, Syaril Norafuddin dan Malvinderjit, dua-dua daripada team Hyperbulls nampaknya, dan dua-dua pun tengah battling. Those two drivers are battling out between each other. I do know that the Hyperbull guys, they try to race fair and clean. They don't tend to use a lot of team orders. They're not going to try and hold anyone back throughout the course of the race. They're not trying to set the position like they do in Formula One. They do tend to race each other. It's going to be interesting to see how this race pans out going through Shiflak. They're very close, Melvin there and Sharil Norafuddin, and it is worth noting that Sharil in the top 3 right now. 27 minutes have passed in this 40-minute race, and saya dapat juga ada sampul surat dekat sini dekat depan saya. The question for the giveaway challenge right now, and the question is, of course, Zandvoort used to be a lot longer than it is now. What has reduced the length of Zandvoort? There was something that forced Zandvoort to reduce the track length. What was it? Do leave a comment down below, like Adrenaline Impact and Vertex Esports, and share the stream with your answer, and you could be in for a chance to win that simulator map from Precision Sim Racing.
Sekali lagi. Apa soalan dia tadi?
So, soalan dia sebenarnya, track Zandvoort ni dulu sebenarnya agak panjang, lebih daripada 5 km, tapi sekarang 4.3 km sahaja. Apakah kenapakah Zandvoort tu terpaksa pendekkan track?
Okay. Ada cakap ke sewaktu awal-awal tadi kan?
Yeah. So, for those of you paying attention during the earlier part of the race or during the earlier part of the broadcast, I would have probably slipped that answer in somewhere, being sneaky old me. So you guys probably do know the answer to that. Leave it down in the comment section below. Like Adrenaline Impact, Vertex Esports, and also just to increase the chances of success, like a few of our sponsors, as well as sharing that stream, of course.
Sekarang ni dapat kita saksikan ada beberapa pembawa dah pun masuk ke dalam pit. Antaranya Azman Tengku Jan dah ada berada di pit exit, baru keluar. Tadi masuk dah keluar balik.
So nampaknya semakin lama diorang drive, semakin pendek pit stop dia. So the longer they're going, the shorter the pit stops are. So that's really going to be very interesting indeed.
Kalau awak Max, kalau awak sebagai di kedudukan pelumba, awak rasa awak akan masuk di awal perlumbaan, ataupun di tengah perlumbaan, ataupun di hujung perlumbaan? Biasanya
saya akan cuba aim untuk either tengah-tengah ataupun hujung-hujung sekali, sebab pit stop dia pendek. Tetapi bila kita nak cuba drag kereta tu lama-lama sampai hujung tu, tayar dah wear out, petrol dah kurang, lagi susah nak drive kereta. Ya, betul. So itu kalau Max sebagai pelumba. Tetapi ada juga pengalaman orang lain, iaitu pengalaman team manager. Oh, that's a big accident there from Azman Abdullah. There seems to be a bit of a contact between himself and it looks like Jazri there. They've had a coming together coming into that right-hander. Let's have a look at the replay right now. Going through the corners there, you can see there Azman tries to go for the dive on the inside. Bang! Bang! They've gone into each other, and that has really destroyed the chances of both drivers in the course of the race there. That is very unfortunate, very unlucky for both drivers there. They looked like they were side by side coming into the corner there, and that was a huge hit from both drivers.
Insiden yang sangat merugikan bagi Azman yang mana kini telah jatuh di tempat ke-12 sekarang ini. Semakin jatuh.
And I think Azman's car is very badly damaged there. I thought we saw a little glimpse of it sliding all over the place there. He's going to go into the pits to try and repair the car. You can see there. There is a puncture on that Porsche. That car has a puncture right now. He's trying desperate. He's decided to tow the car back into the pits for the safety of the other drivers. Very wise move there. But that was a very, very dramatic scenes indeed. But that has caused quite a bit of consternation, I'm sure, for all the teammates involved there. Shami Aizan there with the car behind him. Nazmi trying desperately hard to try and catch up. But it looks like Shami Aizan's managing to really open up the gap. 5.7 seconds. It used to be less than a second, but I'm not sure if Shami Aizan has had his pit stop just yet. It looks like he has, in fact, had his pit stop. So it looks like Shami Aizan in and out of the pits and still in first place. And all of our drivers have indeed made their pit stop.
Okey, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, di minit yang ke-31 sekarang ini, kedudukannya ialah Sami di tempat pertama, Nazmi di tempat kedua, Akib Basarul di tempat ketiga, Malvendet Singh di tempat keempat, Syaril di tempat kelima, Syarul di tempat enam, Teguh Jan di tempat ketujuh, Kevin Ha di tempat ke-8, Syukran di tempat ke-9, manakala Surin Silva Raju di tempat ke-10. Itu dia kedudukan yang terkini sekarang, tuan-tuan.
Yeah, itu dia. So right now, Wajdi's gone off the track. It looks like in 15th place again. Another guy, another driver running out wide at Shivlat. One of the easiest mistakes to make. Very, very difficult to keep the car on that line. There's a very narrow operating window for the car to drive through that corner. And it looks like Zulfikri Wajdi has gone off there. He's only dropped, I'm not sure if he's actually dropped any positions there, but right now he's lost quite a bit of time to Tarmizi Yusuf. Right now Sharil Norafuddin now in 5th place, chasing after Malvinderjit Singh, and it looks like the race has really got into its sort of rhythm right now. There's not too much happening out on track, but all the drivers there still pushing the cars right to the limit.
Sekarang ni bila dah sampai ke ujung-ujung ni, dapat kita saksikan gap tu dah terlalu banyak kan. Kalau tadi di awal-awal semua dapat je. Sekarang ni gap di antara satu kereta memang agak jauh.
Ya, itu dia. Pada masa sekarang now, it looks like Malvinderjit is driving away from Sharon Norafuddin. Going a little bit quicker on all but lap 17 there. That goes to show that the cars are beginning to spread out further and further away. You can see there the gap to the leader. So Nazmi is 6 seconds behind the leader and Akid is 10 seconds.
Okey, sementara itu yang ingin menjawab soalan pun sebenarnya ada syarat dia. First kali kita akan check sama ada dia dah share dan juga follow Adrenaline Impact dan juga Vertex Esport.
So jangan lupa share dan follow Adrenaline Impact dan Vertex Esports. Share and follow those two channels there and answer the question. I'll ask it one more time. What caused Zandvoort to become shorter?
So apabila walaupun anda dah menjawab, sebenarnya kita akan check juga tau. Anda dah share ke dan juga dah follow ke belum Adrenaline Impact dan juga Vertex Esport ni. So kepada semua, walaupun untuk akan datang pun jangan lupa pasukan peluang, boleh join giveaway ni. Yang penting anda harus share dan juga follow apa sahaja aktiviti Adrenaline Impact dan juga Vertex Esport.
Yeah, itu dia. Right now, Surin Selvaraju there, he has had a real topsy-turvy race going, basically bouncing around all over the midfield there, but he's now got a nice, comfortable position there in 10th place, and Fred Ting right behind him in 11th. Well, I say right behind him, 4.4 seconds further behind. It looks like a 10th and 11th place for Team Liberace in their first amateur league race there, so it's looking all good for Surin Selvaraju right now.
Ini dia Nazmi Masri daripada Pico Parawan Bandit di tempat kedua sekarang ni, cuba bersaing hebat dengan Samir. Bukan.
Tu blue flag. Sorry, tak nampak blue flag. So thanks to our spotter there managing to get through. I believe that may have been Lester Neal that was passed by Nazmi Mazli right now going through there. We have gone into the 35th minute of this 40-minute race, and it's in just the perfect time to recap the standings. Shami Aizan in first place, 6.9 seconds ahead of Nazmi Mazli. Akid Basarom is in third, followed by Malvinderjit. Sharil and Sharul there with Teguh Janle in 7th. Ha in 18th with Shukran in 9th. Sorry, Ha in 8th. I do apologise, Kevin Ha. In 8th place there's Shukran in 9th and Surin Selvaraju in 10th place with his teammate Fred Ting right behind him.
Itu dia, Sami Aizan sangat selesa di tempat pertama sekarang ni, yang mana dia punya back marker dia 7 saat di belakang, jauh sangat tu.
Itu dia, kereta 7 tu dia punya teammate yang dia akan lap pada kali ni. So he's going to lap his own teammate during the course of the race. An absolutely dominant performance there from Shami Aizan. Brilliant stuff from him going through this race there. Definitely perhaps another alien in the making.
Betul lah, aku dah cakap dah, dia sangat selesa dengan benda ni. Insiden dekat turn 11 ni, apa cerita?
Okay, so race stewards have decided that the incident at turn 11, lap 17, car 8 and car 15 under investigation. We will see if the stewards can get a resolution to that before the end of the race, or perhaps during the course of the post-race briefings that they usually have, but definitely the live stewards now that we have for this season really kicking into play there. They've been looking at everything that's happening out on track there, the clerk of the course, with Paduka Shoaib really doing a great job keeping the race together there.
Terima kasih kepada steward kita.
But yeah, there's those two incidents. I believe that was the Asman incident at the top of the track there, and I can't blame them for having a good hard look at that incident. Very, very tricky to judge, I am sure. But for now, Surin Selvaraju is still in 10th place, but he's gotten really close to Shukran in the SM Hobbies car. There was a big gap before, but now it looks like Surin Selvaraju is able to catch up with Shukran.
Oh, tapi cantik lah kereta dia, warna hijau Petronas tu
Yeah.
Doraemon. Bukan? Livery dia.
So yeah, coming into the braking zone there, you can see they're coming through the bend, through the Audi bend there, and coming out towards the exit. Surin Selvaraju and Shukran, the 9th and 10th places. It looks like Surin is actually closing up the gap quite a bit. It was 0.6 seconds, now it's gone down to 0.4 seconds. Could this be an overtaking maneuver going down towards the Tarzan curve there? It looks like Shukran's going to go into the pits. No, he's just trying to break the toe of Surin, trying to play some mind games down the range straight there. Surin's going to go to the inside, to the outside. Will he be able to make it go around the outside of the bend? It looks like Surin's just losing out a little bit there, and he's going to have to wait for one more lap. There's only 2 minutes left, less than 2 minutes left to go. We might see lap 23 or lap 24 as the final lap of the race.
Okey, kita berbaki. Tak lama baik, 1 minit je lagi baik. Maknanya total ada 22 lap lah.
Ya, dalam 23 lap lah.
23 lap. Okey, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, sekarang ni kedudukan dia terkini. Sambil di tempat pertama, Nazmi di tempat kedua, Akid di tempat ketiga, Manfred Jid di tempat keempat, Syarul di tempat kelima, Syarul di tempat keenam, Tengku Jan di tempat ketujuh, Kevin Ha di tempat ke-8 sekarang ni. Bila masa sahaja lagi, beberapa minit sahaja lagi.
Berapa saat saja dia akan jadi. 1 more minute to go. 1 more minute to go. It looks like Shame Aizan's going to do another lap. He's going to come across the line there with a minute left to go. Lap 23, the final lap of the race. As he comes across the line there, he gets the white flag, and so will everyone else crossing that line right now. But it looks like the battle between Surin and Shukran getting hotter and hotter. Despite the large gaps we're seeing from this first race of the season, the adrenaline impact, the trademark adrenaline impact midfield battle still happening right now. Surin Selvaraju getting closer and closer to Shukran. Will he be able to make the move work now, coming towards the 23rd lap of the race? They're going to start the 23rd lap this time around, still on lap 22 right now, coming around the final corner there. And looks like Surin's dropped back just a little bit there. Shukran kicking up a little bit of dirt in the face of his fellow BMW driver as he goes down the main straight. Let's see, coming into the braking zone here, can he catch it up a little bit? Shukran's going to go defensive. Surin dives in hard and wide, tries to tighten it up on the exit there, and he's gone a lot closer. He's only 0.3 of a second. 0.3 second sekarang. Memang dekat saya.
Ya, betul tu.
So right now, Surin still very close to there, going through the Slotterbaka curves. Really close to there. Surin Selvaraju and Shukran really getting close to the race there. Meanwhile, Shame Aizan is got only 2 corners left on the racetrack, as you can see there on the map. But right now we're still seeing Surin Selvaraju going through the corner. Now Shame Aizan is going to go through the final corner of the race. What a dominating performance there. 5.8 seconds is the gap from first to second place. Shame Aizan wins it here at Zandvoort, with Nazmi coming home in second place, and finally Akid Basarom comes home in third, with Malvinderjit Singh in fourth place right now, give or take. Still, there's been an accident there. It looks like Surin's gone off the track. No, he hasn't gone off the track. It looks like he has. Good grief. Not too sure what happened there, but there was high drama at the final sections of the race there, and it looks like Surin's car was damaged. Could it have been damaged in that battle earlier on there? We'll try and get a replay of that incident, yeah, you can definitely see a bit of damage there. Let's see, jom kita tengok sekali. Oversteer, terciduk dekat luar.
Terciduk, bye. Last minute, bye. Last lap lah tu.
Hampir. Commiserations there to Selvaraja. He almost had it, but unfortunately that spin is going to kind of cost him quite a bit there. He's going to finish behind Muhaimin and Mukit as well in 13th place. So absolutely spectacular stuff. Memang seronok juga race ni.
Ya, betul. Apa-apa kita mengucapkan tahniah kepada pemenang. Nombor 1 dapat kita saksikan tadi, Samir, Nazmin dan juga Akid. Dan ada juga yang tidak bernasib baik. Last lap pun dia tercedok, bye.
Alamak. Itu dia. Dan Charan Nurfuddin pun hampir masuk ke dalam podium. Tengku Jan tadi pun hampir masuk dalam podium. Beberapa BMW driver yang dapat tunjuk bakat BMW tetapi malangnya tak dapat masuk dalam podium.
Tapi best tengok tadi Tengku Jan dengan Abang Azman kita saling pintas pemintas.
Ya,
itu dia.
Itu memang best. Otai daripada dunia sim dan dunia real battle memang best jugalah. So Syamir Aizan there, your winner for this evening. With Nazmi in second place, Akid in third, Mavildajit Singh in fourth place, Sharil in fifth, and Sharul Nurfuddin in sixth place. So absolutely spectacular stuff right now. Indeed. Syamir Aizan ada dalam studio ya?
Ada.
Apa khabar Syamir Aizan? Apa dapat perasaan menang?
Dia main portion show
Khabar baik. Okey, perasaan gembira lah juga, tapi quite good race lah dengan Azmi. Dia keep pressure juga dan I just control my pace lah untuk race ni lah.
Okey, soalan. Agaknya season 2 ni boleh tak mengungguli sama macam malam ni? Prestasi tu agaknya boleh tak kekal di dalam kedudukan ketiga teratas untuk season ni agak-agak?
InsyaAllah saya cubalah dengan teammate saya jugalah. Dengan Hyperbole semualah kita cuba untuk season ni.
Ya. Tapi nampak effort dia selalu tengok praktis kat rumah lah, tambah barang lagi lah.
Ya, itu dia. So pada season ni aku rasa Porsche ni memang ada advantage jugalah.
Memang advantage dekat cornering lah. Compare dengan McLaren lah, dengan BMW.
Ya, kita boleh. So anyways, in any case right now we're going to head on. Oh, dia suruh lambai. Okey, Syamir Aizan, kita ada kamera dekat kereta kamu sekarang. Boleh lambai tak sikit tayar depan tu?
Oh, lambai macam tu pakai tayar
tu dia.
Lambai tu cara lambai dia. Macam-macam lah komen ni.
Ramai-ramai tu belakang ni semua.
Tu dia. So Syamir, ada berapa lagi soalan lagi, tapi soalan pertama tu apa kau rasa track paling favourite nanti pada race-race yang akan datang tu?
Saya akan vote Spa lah.
Spa.
Yes.
Ya, dan ada harapan juga yang memang kalau bagi Syamir, adakah kamu akan fokus kat 1-2 race yang rasa confident ke ataupun full flat out untuk satu season ni?
Saya akan full flat out lah.
Awesome. Nanti kita boleh dapat nampak juga macam berjuang juga.
Ya, betul.
Okey, good luck Samir. Good luck.
Okey, terima kasih kerana nak join kami sebagai interview.
Okey. Sama-sama.
Alright, that was Syamir Aizan there, your winner for the amateur category as well for the Hyperballs racing team, a team that's really going to do quite well for themselves. I do believe in the team's championship they're going to be right up there in terms of results.
Okey, itu dia. Maka tak malam sudah satu perubatan yang sangat menarik pada malam ini. Kita telah pun selesai di minggu yang pertama bersiaran selama 2 hari, semalam dan juga hari ini, Matt.
Itu dia. Tetapi ada juga lagi sebentar lagi, tapi sebelum kita bincang pasal post ratio kami, kita ada Nazmi Mazli sekarang.
Hai Nazmi.
Hello Matt. Hello Bob.
Ya, hello.
So untuk sebagai driver Pico Paduan Bandit ni, apa perasaan dapat masuk ke dalam podium?
Practice selama seminggu ni worth it lah.
Ya, memang.
So Ipin banyak tunjuk ajar sikit apa semua kan.
Ya, itu dia.
Apa
Dengar.
pun ni kita nak ucapkan satu ni lah, selamat pengantin baru lah.
Ya, selamat pengantin baru kepada Nazmi
terima kasih.
Mazli.
Live ni alang-alang ni kan.
Ya, baru kita dapat mesej. Saya terlupa tadi hari tu dapat juga nampak gambar kan. Memang harap-harap nanti hidup kan akan lagi meriah.
Ya, betul. Mana dia lepas kahwin biasanya lagi laju.
Ya, betul.
Aduh, thank you, terima kasih.
Ya, so nanti harapannya pada season depan boleh berjuang dengan Sami Aizan juga lah untuk battle.
Boleh.
Ya.
Musuh utama kan.
Laju tu Nazmi tu.
Keluar picknya tinggal 7 saat dah. Itu je tak cukup data.
So itu dia, harap-harap nanti kita boleh jumpa bukan saja di dalam race-race yang akan datang, tetapi ada banyak juga practice race yang kamu berdua masuk sekali kan.
Betul.
So
Tapi kalau tengok sepanjang practice hosted, Kimi memang outstanding.
Bagus
Kita
juga.
cuba praktis lah.
Ya.
Hujung-hujung baru nak dapat.
Mana tahu mungkin kalau ada track yang lagi besar lagi, mungkin ada chance nak potong lagi. So Bob ada lagi satu soalan tak?
Cukuplah, kita dah wish dia. Kita memang nak wish dia masa live
Itu yang penting. Selamat pengantin baru kepada Nazmi Mazli. Terima kasih kerana kepada Nazmi dan Syamil Aizan.
Sebab akan datang 10 tahun akan datang, kalau aku nak tengok balik wish dia tu, aku buka je YouTube. Wish tu akan tetap kekal kat sana.
Ya, itu dia. Memory.
Ya.
Dan congratulations to Syamil Aizan, Nazmi Mazli and Akid Pasarom there. And SF Hobbies baru je message, yeha Doraemon nombor 9.
Yeah.
So itu dia, dah ada nampak beberapa jawapan kepada soalan. Ada yang jawapan betul, ada yang jawapan salah.
Yang itu jawapan tu nanti kita akan siarkan, umumkan pada
sebentar lagi, mungkin selepas broadcast tu. Tapi ada lagi satu pemandu yang kita nak cakap ni sekarang.
Saya still upside Hyperboost R pula.
Hello.
Okay, kena check balik ni.
Pingu, kau tengah live, Pingu.
Asal aku tengah live.
Apa khabar Syaril Nurifuddin? Apa perasaan untuk race pada malam ni?
Sebelum tu kita nak ucapkan hadiah sebab dia menang hadiah.
Ya, Syaril Nurifuddin dapat dengar cerita tadi, dapat menang LED shift light.
Tanya.
Oh, ya ke?
Itu yang cakap, dia tak tahu. Dia tengah ni tadi. Masa praktis kita umumkan tadi.
Betul, kita umumkan pada masa praktis.
Alhamdulillah.
Tanya abang.
Ya, itu dia. Tengok dekat skrin tu. Congratulations Syaril Nurifuddin, round 1 pro giveaway winner. Jangan lupa bagi tahu kita kat DM alamat nanti. Hantar.
Baik.
So apa perasaan untuk malam ni?
Dia seronok sebab kalau boleh ikutkan kebanyakannya semua Porsche. So bila kita dapat kita cari dapat setup and then dapat fight dengan front pack tu, kira macam puas juga. Itulah sebab cari setting sampai pagi-pagi cari settingan, sebab BMW is not an easy car to handle lah. So saja je cari challenge tu. So alhamdulillah okey lah. Happy with the result.
Bagus juga tu. So memang you boleh kirakan sebagai you nak adopt taktik underdog lah untuk masuk dalam season ni.
Tak juga, saja je just to take the challenge. Use different car kan.
Sebenarnya aku terkejut juga dia pakai BMW tu pilihan tu.
Ya. Tetapi nampak macam berbaloi juga, dapat top 5. Rasa ada peluang tak nak dapatkan podium nanti?
Mungkin ada, tapi sebab track lain pun saya tak explore lagi. So once kita dah explore, then baru tahu kot macam mana dia punya nak cari setup and how to fight and where to take advantage lah.
Sebab kita boleh nampak ada setengah kereta yang bagus under heavy braking, ada yang boleh potong masa exit corner, ada yang boleh potong masa slipstream.
Exactly.
So itu yang kita kena belajar kan.
Sebab kalau ikutkan setup dia pun tak banyak kalau kita cari kat online pun. So lebih kepada cari sendiri lah. Itu yang susah sikit lah sebab tak ada reference kan.
Mungkin kena adjust sendiri juga kan.
Exactly.
Buat R&D sendiri
sampai 3-4 pagi jadi setup tu.
Memang memang determined untuk bagi BMW tu cemerlang dalam series ni.
Saja je.
Tapi sebenarnya aku follow siapa yang pakai BMW sebab bukanlah kata bias, tapi aku lebih minat kepada BMW lah sebenarnya.
Kita memang ada banyak dalam tim kami yang memang pro BMW. Memang peminat BMW fanboy. So
Go BMW go.
kita boleh ucapkan good luck lah kepada sesiapa-siapa yang bawa BMW. Harap-harap nanti kita boleh tengok bukan saja Porsche yang mendominasi, tapi harap-harap kita boleh nampak Syaril and Co menang pakai BMW ataupun
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you SX. Thank you Android King.
Okay, thank you Syaril.
Alright guys.
Terima kasih.
Alright. Bye.
Okay, itu dia tadi kita bersama dengan Syaril Nufrin dan juga pelumba-pelumba kita tadi.
Yeah, itu dia. So there we have it. All the interviews we've had with the AM drivers. Thanks to all the drivers who were willing to talk to us, as well as all the drivers who were willing to share their vision in the driver cam segment. It was absolutely brilliant to see the actual inputs of the drivers throughout the course of practice and qualifying. It was brilliant vision to watch. And also thanks to all of you fans at home, along with our sponsors XOX One, XOX TKR, Magpie, Android King, Precision Sim Racing, and our media partners Gallery Creator. We here at Vertex Esports and Adrenaline Impact, with our director Carol Alang, myself, and Inche Bob, we wish all of you a very special thank you to the drivers and to the spectators. You fans at home are the reason why we can do this here, and we hope to see you all very, very soon. But for now, that's it from me. And terima kasih Encik Bob.
Okay, kita jumpa lagi minggu depan.
Ya, kita akan jumpa lagi.
Hari dan waktu yang sama.
Ya, itu dia. Same time, same place next week. See you then. Ta-ra.
Hi guys, saya Jai Android King, professional drifter, racer dan sim racer. Kalau korang mencari racing simulator, datanglah ke Android King. Kita ada Trustmaster T300 steering, Logitech G29, Simagic wheelbase, Super Street racing rig, triple monitor setup dan macam-macam lagi produk. Saya ingin menjemput anda datang ke Android King, nanti saya bagi harga baiknya.